Mr. President, Excellencies and distinguished guests, I'm grateful for the opportunity to address you, not only as Deputy Prime Minister of Lebanon, but as the President of the National Commission on International Humanitarian Law. I have come to you with our longing towards a durable cessation of hostilities and not only a precarious de-escalation. We are fully aware that healing the wounds of war will be a long and difficult process. In this vein, documenting the suffering of civilians and protecting their rights are vital to us, but also to all those who uphold international law and universal humanist values. As we meet today, an assessment team appointed by the Office of the High Commissioner on Human Rights conducts its work in Lebanon, gathering information and evidence on the alleged violations and abuses of human rights, laws, and international humanitarian law perpetrated by all parties to the conflict. On April 9, the High Commissioner condemned the massive wave of strikes and the destruction that was nothing short of horrific, and he demanded an independent investigation into all potential violations of international humanitarian law. On the preceding day, more than 350 civilians were killed and 1,200 civilians were injured in Beirut after 100 indiscriminate Israeli airstrikes within 10 minutes. Today, the number of civilians killed since the outbreak of the war that Lebanon was dragged into exceeds 4,000, and the injured are over 12,000. Large figures show the scale of harm, but not less important are the tragic stories of women and men behind these numbers, including scores of those who should have had a special protection, such as journalists, healthcare, and rescue workers. Civilians killed in the last 3-4 months are not collateral damage, no matter if some of the airstrikes had a specific target as it is claimed. Attacks have been recurrent. Many did not have a clearly identifiable military objective. The principles of humanitarian law are clear. Civilians must be protected, and parties to a conflict must distinguish military objectives and civilians at all times. I'm here to express our deepest concern that Israeli attacks in and on Lebanon have, in all likelihood, violated repeatedly the principles of distinction, proportionality, and precaution, the three fundamental pillars of international humanitarian law. Unlawful mass evacuation is another breach of the Fourth Geneva Convention. Military orders to civilian residents asking them to evacuate their towns and villages and declaring those towns and villages as no-return zones did provoke an unprecedented mass displacement. Evacuation orders depopulating more than 70 towns and villages did not necessarily guarantee safe passages of civilian inhabitants. and were a prelude to a near total destruction, making those towns and villages inhabitable. Testimonies, photos, and satellite imagery bear witness to the sweeping devastation of large parts of southern Lebanon, where not only homes were destroyed, but bridges, roads, places of worship, and cultural heritage. A senior official in Israel did not hesitate to claim responsibility for an extended herbicide, saying, "We have flattened the entire first line of villages in southern Lebanon. All the houses have been destroyed. The residents will never see them standing again." Your Excellency, a detailed report collecting evidence and offering legal analysis prepared by our National Commission is at your disposal. It is our hope that your Council, committed to the principles and Charter of the United Nations, will reaffirm that the protection of human rights in Lebanon and everywhere, and in Lebanon, like everywhere, protection of human rights are the foundations of justice and peace. Thank you very much.
Muchas gracias, Excelencia, por su declaración. Continuaremos ahora el diálogo interactivo con